The significance of the number 2 in the Bible. The number 2 is often associated with themes of union, division, and confirmation in the Bible. Throughout the scriptures, it appears in various contexts, sometimes symbolizing a dual nature or a pair that complements each other. Themes and symbolism. Union and partnership. One of the most prominent associations of the number 2 in the Bible is its representation of partnership and union. This is evident from the beginning of the Bible, creation of man and woman. In Genesis 2 verse 24, the union of man and woman is emphasized. Therefore a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. This verse highlights the partnership and unity that the number 2 can symbolize. Division and separation. The number 2 can also represent division or separation, often seen in the context of choices or contrasting elements. Old and New Testament. The Bible itself is divided into two major sections, the Old Testament and the New Testament. This division represents different covenants between God and humanity. Two paths. In Matthew 7:13-14, Jesus speaks of two paths, one narrow and one wide, indicating choices that lead to different destinies. Confirmation and witness. The number 2 is frequently used to represent confirmation or witness. In biblical law, the testimony of two witnesses is required to establish a matter as true. Witnesses. Deuteronomy 19 verse 15 states, "A matter must be established by the testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses." This principle underscores the reliability and confirmation that comes from having two testimonies. Examples in Scripture. Noah's Ark. In the story of Noah's Ark, God instructed Noah to bring animals into the ark in pairs, 2 of each kind. Genesis 7 verse 9. This underscores the concept of pairs working together to fulfill God's plans. The 2 tablets. Moses received the 10 Commandments on 2 stone tablets. Exodus 31 verse 18, symbolizing the covenant between God and his people. The use of 2 tablets signifies the completeness and confirmation of the divine law. Jesus sending disciples. In the New Testament, Jesus often sent his disciples out in pairs. For example, in Mark 6 verse 7, Jesus sends the 12 disciples out 2 by 2 to preach and perform miracles, emphasizing the strength and support found in partnership. Conclusion. The number 2 holds significant symbolic meaning in the Bible, representing union, division, and confirmation. Its presence in various stories and teachings highlights the importance of relationships, choices, and the validation of truth. Whether symbolizing the unity between individuals or the division of paths, the number 2 serves as a profound reminder of the dual aspects of life and faith. The significance of the number 2 in the Bible. The number 2 holds various symbolic meanings in the Bible. Throughout biblical texts, numbers often carry deeper meanings, and the number 2 is no exception. Here are some of the key interpretations and instances where the number 2 is significant. Symbolism of the number 2. 1. Duality and division. The number 2 is commonly associated with duality and division. It represents the idea of two entities or concepts that are opposite or complementary. This can be seen in the division of light and darkness, good and evil, or other dualities present in the Bible. 2. Partnership and witness. The number 2 can also signify partnership and confirmation. In biblical law, the testimony of 2 witnesses is required to establish the truth of a matter. This principle underscores the importance of agreement and corroboration. Deuteronomy 19 verse 15. 3. Covenant and union. Biblically, 2 can symbolize union and covenant, such as the relationship between God and humanity, or the union between a husband and wife. Biblical instances of the number 2. 1. Creation of man and woman. In the creation narrative, God creates man and woman, marking the first instance of human partnership and union. Genesis 1 verse 27. 2. Noah's Ark. When God instructed Noah to gather animals into the ark, he commanded that they be taken in pairs, male and female, to preserve life on earth. Genesis 7 verse 2. 3. The 2 tablets of the law. The 10 Commandments were given on 2 stone tablets, symbolizing the covenant between God and his people. Exodus 31 verse 18. 4. The sending of the disciples. Jesus sent his disciples out in pairs to preach and perform miracles, emphasizing the importance of companionship and mutual support. Mark 6 verse 7. Conclusion: the number 2 in the Bible is rich with meaning, often symbolizing duality, partnership, and covenant. Its presence in various narratives and laws highlights the importance of relationships, the balance between opposing forces, and the strength found in unity and testimony. Understanding these themes can enhance one's reading of biblical texts and the messages they convey. The significance of the number 2 in the Bible: the number 2 holds a significant place in biblical numerology and symbolism. Throughout the Bible, it often represents concepts related to duality, partnership, and witness. Below are some key aspects and examples of how the number 2 is used in the Bible. Duality and division: the number 2 often symbolizes duality or division. This can be seen in the creation narrative where God separates light from darkness. On the first day, God created light and separated it from darkness, establishing the day-night cycle. Genesis 1 verse 34. Heaven from earth. On the second day, God separated the waters, creating the sky to divide the heavens from the earth. Genesis 1 verse 68. Partnership and unity: the number 2 is also a symbol of partnership, representing the idea that two can be stronger or more complete together. Marriage. In Genesis 2 verse 24, it is stated that a man shall leave his parents and unite with his wife, and they shall become one flesh. This union signifies the idea of two becoming one in partnership. Jesus sending disciples in pairs. In the New Testament, Jesus sends his disciples out in pairs to spread his teachings, emphasizing the importance of partnership and mutual support. Mark 6 verse 7. Witness and testimony in biblical law: the testimony of two witnesses is required to establish truth or confirm an event. Legal requirement. Deuteronomy 19 verse 15 specifies that a matter must be established by the testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses. Jesus' teachings. Jesus mentions the importance of having 2 or 3 witnesses to resolve disputes or confirm a truth, reflecting the legal standards of the time. Matthew 18 verse 16. Examples of 2 in stories: several biblical stories highlight the significance of the number 2. Noah's Ark. God instructed Noah to bring animals onto the ark in pairs to ensure the continuation of each species. Genesis 6 verse 19. The 2 tablets. Moses received the 10 Commandments on 2 stone tablets, highlighting the dual nature of the covenant between God and his people. Exodus 31 verse 18. Conclusion: throughout the Bible, the number 2 carries rich symbolism, often representing duality, partnership, and the necessity of witnesses. These themes underscore the importance of unity and collaboration in both divine and human relationships. The consistent use of the number 2 across various narratives and teachings illustrates its enduring significance in biblical thought.